Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited because we are going to do a new unboxing of one of my favorite perfume brands, Roja Parfums. And I'm so excited because this is in collaboration with a London hotel, the Lascar, and he did a collaboration, a pour homme and a pour femme version. And when I read the notes, I was so excited to give this a try. And as many of you know, I'm going to be going to London this summer, and I was actually looking at hotels, and the Lascar Hotel had come up when I was searching on Goop. And then I was scrolling through Instagram, and this new launch from Roja popped up in my feed, and I was like, I read the notes and I was like, we've got to give this one a try. So we're going to do a little unboxing of this new one, and I have promised to share my Roja collection. So I will be sharing my full collection along with even my travel sizes with you and kind of walk you through my personal favorites. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Roja Parfums as well as this new Lascar launch, then let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, if you're not familiar with Roja Dove, he is one of the world's most well-respected perfumers out there, as well as he has a knack for storytelling. He is someone that I would love to meet in person. I just love his zest for life and his passion for fragrance. If you've ever watched any of his videos, you can literally feel his love and passion for his art just about the way that he talks about his fragrances and the stories behind them, and it literally just grabs you and makes you want to try his fragrances. I consider his fragrances to be my personal special fragrances. That doesn't mean that I only wear them at special times, but they are the ones that I cherish. One of his perfumes is what I consider my personal signature scent, and that's Big. And that's a bold statement coming from someone like myself who loves fragrance and loves to mix it up day to day, week to week. But I have one of his fragrances that if I only had to pick one fragrance for the rest of my life, it would be his. So these have a very special place in my heart. And when I read about this new one launching, I just had to pick this up. Number one, pink. You guys know I'm a little bit of a fan of pink. And I literally had just read a review on the Lascar Hotel. So first let me give you a little background so you can get an idea of what this fragrance is all about. So this is the sibling hotel to Hotel Costas that is the most decadent, extravagant hotel in Paris, evidently. So Hotel Lascar is located in a former Baptist church, and Jacques Garcia, the hotelier, has stuffed this hotel with his signature red velvet everywhere. This is supposed to be the most decadent, extravagant place to stay in London. And this is supposed to be decked out to the nines. There are Lalique butterfly taps in the bathrooms. It is just supposed to be pure luxe, decked out to the nines, and just the place to go for that kind of feel. And then I had to laugh because the marketing totally worked. I had just read that review and was intrigued by that hotel. And then of course this perfume popped up in my feed, and this was in collaboration with the hotel. So the inspiration behind this perfume is about the woman who would stay in the Lascar Hotel. So first let's do a little unboxing. So pretty. All of his bottles are gorgeous, and they come in their own little satin bed. And let's take a look at the bottle. Sorry, my light is picking up, but just stunning, gorgeous glass bottles. And the top has his signature on top. So to describe this perfume, Roja says, every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. Okay, so the reason I wanted to pick up this perfume is that I have rediscovered aldehydes and that I actually like them. Heavy aldehyde perfumes have a lot of memories for me. My mom was the queen of loving perfumes with heady aldehydes in them. She was a Clinique Aromatics Elixir, a Chanel No. 5 girl, an Estee Lauder White Linen. Those are all perfumes known for their heavy dose of aldehydes. And if you are not sure what aldehydes smell like, most well-known aldehyde heavy perfume is Chanel No. 5. Chanel was known for pushing the aldehydes, and the way that aldehydes smell to me is I always think of a glass of sparkly champagne. There is something very sophisticated about aldehydes. They are often in many vintage perfumes that probably bring back a lot of memories of our grandmothers, our own moms. I may be aging myself. I think of the Chanel DNA. These are the kind of fragrances that are very classy, elegant, and to me they just have a little sparkly nature. When you first put them on, you get that burst of aldehydes and there's this sparkly champagne touch, and then the perfume underneath is going to dry down and all the other notes are going to blossom. Another very aldehydic perfume that I loved was the Rive Gauche from Yves Saint Laurent. I don't know how many cans I went through, but that was my signature scent back in my 20s. I was living in Chicago, and that was the perfume that made me feel very sophisticated, classy. It was very powdery, but that's another one that has those heady aldehydes in the beginning as well. So if any of those perfumes were your favorites as well, you might be interested in this new one from Roja. This one definitely has that burst of that sparkly champagne touch at the very opening, and then it dries down to a very creamy, soft, sensual musk. So I like to describe this as it starts out very prim and proper. I want you to think about someone very elegant staying at the poshest hotel, and she is dressed to the nines. So her appearance may seem almost a bit stuffy or just a little bit prim and proper. And then as this dries down, it actually becomes a bit naughty. I don't know if naughty is the right word. I would say it becomes much more sensual. It's got this really beautiful, almost animalic musk about it. And when I say animalic, this is not one that is going to have a strong note that you dislike. And that's the one thing I would say about all Roja perfumes is they're just very well blended. They're very smooth. They're very elegant, and there's not any rough edges. So even when I'm saying an animalic musk, I'm just saying there's a little bit of a darker underbelly there, that it starts out very effervescent, a little prim and proper, and then this dries down is much more sensual, where you can enjoy this behind closed doors or and such. So there's that outer appearance of just that pure elegance, a little bit of prim and properness, and then there's going to be that contrast of just a little bit of a naughty side. So this perfume completely takes you on a ride. When you first spray it on, you have that sparkly, effervescent blast of aldehydes, so that champagne touch right at the very beginning. And you also smell the gorgeous florals in the opening as well. So it's like champagne and flowers mixed together at the very beginning. Then it starts to warm up on the skin and you start to get these warmer elements like clove and tonka bean. It also has this beautiful orris and this white musk. It's got a touch of powderiness from the orris, and that white musk kind of envelops you and makes you feel super comforted. So I do think of the woman as wearing a very soft cashmere sweater, very chic. It could be cream colored or camel. So it's got this classic feel to it. It even has a bit of a vintage feel, but then again, it's got that warmth and comfort and just that little peak of a naughty side. So it becomes a little bit sexier, a little bit more sultry. And I love the contrast of starting out prim and proper and then having just that little warm underbelly underneath of somebody who can have a good time as well. So I've been really loving this one because I have been seeking out a more modern aldehydic fragrance. So I do love vintage fragrances, but they don't always wear perfectly well on me and they evoke so many memories that I wanted something that would be a little bit more modern, and I feel like this is exactly what this is. So let me read off the notes to you real quick as well. So of course in the top notes you're getting the sparkly champagne aldehydes. You're also going to get a blast of freshness from bergamot as well as mandarin. So there's a little bit of citrus in here, something to lift it up just a bit, but it is not hugely citrusy. Then in the heart notes you're going to have geranium, Palma Rosa, Rose de Mai, Neroli, Orange Blossom, Jasmin de Grasse, Ylang, Carnation, Mayflower, Heliotrope, and Violet. So this is a beautiful floral composition, and I'd never really known that Carnation had a smell to them, but this is what this fragrance is sort of centered around, is carnations. And when I was doing a little bit of research about carnations and the flower, the fluffiness of the flower, it made me want to go and actually purchase some carnations and really give it a nice big sniff, because this is what you smell in this perfume, as well as some other beautiful white florals. And then we've got this very deep base that has clove, tonka bean, cedar wood, orris, leather, civet, and musk. And so that's what I would say is there is this sexiness, there's a slight smokiness to this. To me, this is powdery but almost a little smoky. So this definitely has this sexy side to it. And again, I think that's what makes it a little bit more modern in my eyes. You've got that classic sort of aldehyde and floral mix that many of the vintage fragrances have, but then you've got that warm underbelly. And as far as the leather, I would say this is a very soft suede note. This isn't going to be like a saddle kind of leather. This is going to be a bit more of a suede. And to me, the warmth of the musk, like soft pillowy musks, come out. A little bit of that earthiness from the orris. It's like a little bit buttery and creamy. This one just smells super elegant, but it's got that little touch of that sultriness and sexiness to it. So I'm finding this to be a wee bit addictive, and this is exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a more modern aldehydic perfume, and this one just completely nailed it. It is not too floral for me. It's got the warmth that I usually gravitate towards. I love those warm, sensual fragrances, but I've rediscovered that I actually like aldehydes. There was a few years after my mom passed away that I just literally could not smell Chanel perfumes, or they just brought up too many memories that I just didn't care for them, and many of them have that heavy dose of aldehydes in them. So I'm having fun dipping my toes back into that genre of perfumes, and I think that this perfume is the perfect one for me because it's got exactly what I was seeking, that sparkly champagne touch, that super elegant refined feeling, but then it's got that warm underbelly that I gravitate towards, those warm, sensual, comforting kind of fragrances that include tonka bean, that rich resinous feel, musks that are a bit dense and comforting. It's got a touch of woodiness and that creaminess from the orris. So this one is a true love for me, exactly what I was looking for, and I also knew because it was created by Roja that I was most likely going to love it. I like the DNA of Roja Parfums. They feel special, they feel elegant, and this is exactly what this one does. Now I do think that Roja described this perfume the best in his musings. So he he said, "I love creating the exclusive collection for the Lascar, two scents that blur the line between saints and sinners." The first takes inspiration from the Baroque glory of the hotel, echoing its decadent and sexy styling. The second captures the hotel's strength of character and the permanence of this exquisite building. The collection is wrapped around a central note of carnation, the favorite flower of one of the world's most famous rebels, Oscar Wilde. So you can already know that this perfume is going to take you on a bit of a ride, and it does just that. So this is my new special perfume,